Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ebony of Ebi Cakes, and today I am here with a DIY cake kit. So, this cake kit that we will be decorating today is my Valentine's Day edition box. So, let's go ahead and see what we have on the inside. So when you open the box, you will first see a contents list, which lists everything that is inside the box, as well as this QR code that you just scan to watch this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. But let's get what's in the box, starting off with our 2 layers of vanilla cake. Next, we have our cake board, which is what we're going to put our cake on. Then we have our 4 bags of buttercream icing, along with our piping bag and piping tip for our borders. Next, we have our offset spatula used to spread our buttercream. And this tool right here is our bench scraper. It's going to help smooth our buttercream. This is our practice sheet where we will practice our borders and piping them. And this is our love seasoned cake charm, which goes on the top of our cake. We have our sprinkle scoop and our little canister of our sprinkles. And lastly, we have our cute little ribbon. So the next set of items are items that are extra slash optional, which will make this job a whole lot easier. So we're gonna start off with, you need some scissors. You're also gonna need some paper towels, a cup, and a bowl. Now, the next items are called cake turntables. These are 2 different ones. This is a plastic one, it's more on the cheaper side, and then this is a metal one, costs a little bit more, and the turn is just a little bit smoother. Either way, they do the same thing. I will leave the links in the description below. In addition to that, you will need some type of grip. This is like kitchen liner or cabinet liner. And then this is also a silicone mat. I will also leave the link below. So let's get started. So go ahead and grab your 2 layers of cake and go ahead and open those and set those to the side. Once you do that, go ahead and grab your white bag of vanilla buttercream and cut a tip off, about an inch off. And just go ahead and squeeze a little bit of buttercream onto your cake board. This is going to work as glue so our cake can stay on our cake board and won't slide off. So go ahead and grab that first cake layer and make sure you center it onto your cake board. We are going to be adding a border, so you want to make sure you have enough room, okay? Once it's centered, go ahead and grab your buttercream and go ahead and just start to pipe the entire bag of buttercream onto your cake. Now I am using the entire bag of buttercream for the inside of my cake, but if you don't like a lot of buttercream, you can feel free to use half of it or 3/4, whichever you prefer. But when you are done, go ahead and grab your offset spatula and start to spread your buttercream all across the entire perimeter of the heart. And once done, go ahead and grab that second layer of your cake and place it right on top. Just make sure it is lined up evenly. And then once that is done, go ahead and grab your first bag of the pink icing, cut about an inch of the tip off, and go ahead and begin to start piping that buttercream onto your cake. So I am starting on the sides. However, if you want to start piping your buttercream on the top of the cake, you can do that as well. So this step is where having a cake turntable is very, very beneficial. If you don't, you'll just have to turn it around on your surface. But if you do have a cake turntable, it just makes this process a whole lot easier. Okay, so now I'm done with that first bag of buttercream. I'm just gonna clean off my offset spatula. I do remember I had some white buttercream on that. So I'm just gonna clean that off and then I am going to spread my buttercream onto my cake. Now, this coat is called the crumb coat. Basically, we are just sealing in any of the cake crumbs that might come up when you are spreading your buttercream on your cake. This step is very, very important. Again, you want to seal in all of those crumbs. And this step right here, this coat is going to be kind of thin. So keep in mind, we will be adding an additional coat. So again, this is called the crumb coat. Now I am using my second bag of buttercream because I did not put enough buttercream on the top. So I'm just gonna go ahead and open up my second bag and then start piping that onto the top of my cake. Also, you want to make sure you do leave some buttercream left over for our final coat. Okay, and then once you're done with that, go ahead and grab your offset spatula again and then start to spread your buttercream on top of the cake. Again, this is going to be a pretty thin coat. You will see some of your cake through, and again, that's okay. This is the crumb coat. So I'm just spreading it evenly on the top, and then I'm also going to go in on my sides with my offset spatula and go ahead and smooth that buttercream as well. So now this part, I'm just looking at my cake and just seeing different areas that I know I need to cover. However, I am going to put this cake in the freezer because I want that cake to firm up and I want the buttercream to firm up. So I'm just going to put this in the freezer for about 10 minutes. And when we return, we will cover the rest of the cake with the buttercream.
10 minutes later.
Okay, we are back with our nice and firm cake. Our cake has a really nice firm crumb coat. So now we are ready to pipe the final coat of buttercream onto our cake. So again, I'm starting from the bottom, but you can start from the top or the sides, whichever works best for you. I'm just using the remainder of our buttercream that we have in our bag, and I'm just going over pretty much the whole cake. But you definitely want to focus on areas where you do still see cake kind of showing through. You want to lay that buttercream on a little bit thicker in those areas if you do see cake showing through. So just go ahead and once you're done piping the rest of your buttercream, go ahead and grab your offset spatula, and then you're going to spread it around the same way like we did with the crumb coat. Just go around on the top and then go in on your sides and just go ahead and keep spreading it around. Now we are ready to use our bench scraper. So this definitely helps smooth the sides of your cake. So this is actually a really, really great cake tool when it comes to smoothing those sides. So go ahead and hold your bench scraper up at a 90-degree angle. And then you just want to go around the sides of your cake and just kind of gently spread the buttercream along. You want to put a slight amount of pressure. You don't want to take off a bunch of buttercream. Remember, you're really just smoothing in the buttercream and then filling in whatever little cracks or crevices that you need to with additional buttercream. Now, since this is our final coat of buttercream onto this cake, you want to make sure that you are smoothing the sides and the top as much as possible. So alternate between using your offset spatula and your bench scraper to smooth out all the sides and any imperfections that you may have. Also, keep in mind that this process takes a little bit of time and patience to get those sides smooth and the top smooth. So I would say Definitely take your time. You can also alternate by putting your cake back in the freezer if you want it to firm up, and then you can come back to it and again keep smoothing down those sides. So just be patient with this process. But once done, go ahead and grab a napkin and just start to clean the sides of your cake board off with a paper towel. You're just cleaning off that excess buttercream. Now you want to locate your Love Season non-edible cake charm and go ahead and take that out the pack. And then what I like to do, I like to kind of center it before I press it down just to make sure I have it in the right area. So again, make sure you center it before you press down, because once you press down, it will be kind of hard to move it. And I like to use a toothpick to kind of go in and press it down even more to make sure that the cake charm is flush with your buttercream. Once you're done with that, go ahead and set your cake to the side. You can also place it in the refrigerator while we work on our practice sheet. So go ahead and locate your practice sheet. And I like to wipe mine down with a wet paper towel and then dry it off, because we will be piping buttercream onto this sheet. Okay, so we have three different borders. We have our beginner border, which is our star border. Then our second one is our shell border, and that's the one that I'm actually going to use. And then a little bit more advanced is our reverse shell border. So I'm going to be showing you all three borders. All right, so go ahead and place that to the side and then grab your cup and your piping bag with your piping tip already in it. Place your piping bag into your cup and then just kind of bring it down on the sides. The cup basically is just holding our piping bag together while we transfer the red buttercream into it. So once you're done with that, go ahead and cut a tip off of the red buttercream. And then I would say pipe about half of that buttercream into that piping bag. Okay, and then once you're done with that, go ahead and grab that piping bag out of our cup and set that to the side. And then I like to kind of twist. I'll push down the buttercream and then twist the top so I won't have buttercream coming out the top. Grab your practice sheet. And now we're going to start with our first, this is our beginner border, which is the star border. So go ahead and grab your piping bag and just gently press down a dollop of buttercream and then release. So you're doing a press and release option. Real simple, real easy. And if you're a beginner, just stick with that. So the next border is our shell border. So it's like a beginner to intermediate type of border. And this is the border that I will be using today. So again, just watch my hand motion. So I am just pressing and then releasing. I'm kind of going up, holding my hand at a 45-degree angle as much as I can, making this video. But as you can see, that is the motion that I use for the shell border. Okay, and then the last border is the reverse shell border, which is a little bit advanced. So I would just say just follow the arrows. You're going to press release, but again, you are just changing the direction of the way that you are making your border. Okay, so so with the reverse shell, you're going in one direction, and then when you are ready to pipe the other one, you're just going in the opposite direction, making like a half circle. Okay, so this process you can practice over and over again. This is a laminated sheet. So again, we cleaned it off. So if you also want to, you can scrape that buttercream off and reuse that buttercream. But right now I am just refilling my piping bag because we are actually going to pipe our border onto our cake. So once you feel like you are pretty decent at piping your border, go ahead and then just transfer all that buttercream back into your piping bag. And then you are ready to pipe your buttercream border on your heart cake. Okay, now that everything has transferred over, I'm just going to put my cup to the side and do the same thing. Just press down a little bit onto my bag, and then I want to close that top just by twisting it. Okay, and this is my shell border that I'm using. So just keep in mind that it is a little awkward angle that I am using, but this is the shell border. So I started in the back. You want to start in the back so you finish in the back. And then I'm just going all the way around. I like to start on the bottom. Okay, and then once I am complete with the bottom, I like to go around and do the same thing on the top. I also like to clean my piping tip off as well. And I'll start right in the corner of the heart. Okay, so again, I'm just doing that little press and release motion that you see the direction on that practice piping sheet. And again, I'm just going all the way around. So where you start is where you will finish at. So again, I like to start in the back so I can finish in the back and so that seam can be closed up. Okay, so I'm just going around my entire border and then I am going to stop in the middle, and then I am going to pipe just one addition or a couple additional shells just so I can make sure I get that heart shape. All right, so next you want to grab your sprinkle scooper and your canister of sprinkles, and then just start to sprinkle your sprinkles on your border. Now, keep in mind, I am sprinkling mine on the border, but if you want to put like some additional, like the large pieces of sprinkles, you can put those on the sides of the cake. You can put them where the love season cake charm is, wherever you choose to decorate, however you choose to decorate it, it's up to you. I'm just sprinkling mine on the side. Now, the sprinkles do go everywhere, so I'm just cleaning off my workspace. And the last step is putting on the ribbons. So just grab your ribbons, and I am starting right where I know I want the first ribbon to go, right in that corner. All right, so now I'm just lining them up on the sides and then just going around the whole thing. Okay, so I'm just going around and making sure I am placing them evenly around the heart frame. Okay, so again, you can place the ribbons wherever you like. You can place them on the bottom border if you like as well. I just like using them on the top border. And then I did find myself cutting some of the ribbons. Some of them were a little bit longer than the others, so I was just trimming them down. So you can do that if you need to. But other than that, we are all done. You should be so proud of yourself at creating this do-it-yourself cake kit Valentine's Day Love Edition. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, please consider to liking and subscribing to my channel and also hitting that notification bell. Thank you all so much for your time, and I will see you on the next video.